What's up, guys? It's Joe Sullivan from Strength the Sullivan Way. Just keeping up on those daily video updates. It's not going to be sustainable. I've just had a pretty slow week, so I've been just making these happen as much as I can. You're going to see I hit 605 for 2 on this first set, then hit it for 2 singles after it. I was sort of toying with bar placement, and I set it like slightly lower on my back, but I really need to just stick with my like mid-bar stance, because it really allows me to keep my quads working, and I got really strong quads. And you're gonna see it on the pause squats that I did after this. I put it back in my like normal position, and my hands slightly closer in, and my elbows down more, and it just allows me to like capitalize on the fact that I have really short limbs and a giant torso. So I'm basically built to squat like that. But yeah, good workout, good squat session. 605 for that double. That's technically a PR. So I'm 3 weeks out as of this Saturday, and I plan on going 198, and I'm super excited for this meet. I'm both nervous and excited, just that like agitated state, because I really don't know what the weight cut is going to do to me. I've never really done that for a powerlifting competition, but we'll see. You know, the only way I can find out is to try, and you know, if I want to be an elite competitor, I'll have to figure out a way to make it work, you know. I've been reading as much as I can and trying to figure out the most effective way of doing things, and then the most effective way to reconstitute that weight and get back up and perhaps even above my training weight. So we will see, you know. It's a work in progress, but that's the beauty about powerlifting. It's a marathon and not a sprint, and just sometimes it comes down to trial and error and figuring it out for yourself. But these are my high bar squats. I was recommended to ditch the belt, but I really, on my primary squatting days, I really like this is, my bad guys, this is still low bar, or like mid bar pause squats. But yeah, like I was saying, a friend of mine, a well-respected powerlifter that I know in Australia, Virus, he recommended that I ditch the belt just to capitalize more on like the hip mobility and stretching aspect of high bar squats. But in this period of my training, I'm a fan of using them as just like a builder for my my regular competition squat, as opposed to like a completely separate movement. So in my off season, I will definitely be ditching the belt and really just hammering out volume while pairing it with a very good amount of food intake in order to build up some, like, basically just build up the musculature surrounding my spine, like in my torso and my abdomen, along with like my pelvic region and my legs themselves. But as you can see, I hit 495 for a double on high bar, but they were really easy. So after that, I hit it for 3 sets of 3, 2 of which I got on film. But a big exercise that I want to focus on in this video is going to be after this, but I'll begin talking about it right now. It's the glute ham raise. And the way I do them, I don't have access to an actual glute ham raise machine, so I do them on a lat pull down, and you'll see in the video how I do them. It's with a Bosu ball. I don't necessarily focus on the concentric portion of the movement, because based off of how your body works and like the actual movement of a squat, your hamstrings aren't necessarily going through that concentric portion of their movement. They're going through the eccentric contraction, which is essentially where you're flexing your leg, which flexion, it's not like contraction of the muscle, it's actually bending of the leg, shortening of that angle. So flexion occurs right now. But your hamstrings are the things that are preventing just that from occurring instantly. The eccentric contraction is basically like controlling the weight down on the negative. That's why for these glute ham raises, these modified glute ham raises, I focus on that negative and just go as slow as possible. If you do these on a lat pull down or on a real glute ham raise machine and focus on that negative, it lends such a high amount of carryover to the negative portion, the descending portion of the squat. It causes you to feel so much more stable and just so much more controlled, which gives weight to my belief that the athlete, when they're going through the negative portion of the squat or the negative portion of any lift, you should go through that negative as fast as possible, but while still remaining under control. You shouldn't dive bomb your squats, but you should go through the eccentric contraction as quick as possible, especially for a person like me who has a relatively close stance with the mid-bar position. I go through that negative portion, the descending motion, quickly, and I can bounce out of the hole hard and use the stretch reflex. And speaking of that, if I were to, down the road, if I were to ever add wraps into my training, I could get an insane amount of carryover, I believe, just because of the glute ham negatives and just descending real quick. And just to show you guys, I do train calves occasionally, so yeah, unlike most other YouTubers, I actually have some calves. So catch you next time, guys. Have a good night.